Hello, everyone. Welcome to the U.S. Immigration News. October 2025 is bringing one of the biggest shakeups to citizenship policy in years. The Trump administration has announced sweeping changes that will redefine how the U.S. handles dual citizenship. And for millions of Americans who hold or are considering dual nationality, this update could change everything. What used to be a gray area of flexibility is now becoming a zone of strict oversight. These changes will affect your rights, your taxes, and even your standing as a U.S. citizen. In this video, we'll break down the new dual citizenship rules effective from October 2025, explain how they could impact your legal status, taxes, and rights, and help you understand what to do next to protect yourself and your family. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. For decades, the United States maintained an uneasy relationship with dual citizenship. The U.S. government didn't openly promote it, but it also didn't forbid it. A person could hold two passports, swear loyalty to the United States, and still keep ties to another country. It was a quiet understanding that worked for millions of immigrants, until now. Beginning in October 2025, the Trump administration's new dual citizenship policy will transform how the U.S. views that shared allegiance. Officials say these changes are part of a broader effort to strengthen national security and ensure tax compliance among citizens who maintain multiple nationalities. But critics warn that the move goes much deeper, that it will give the government unprecedented power to question loyalty, revoke privileges, and even threaten citizenship itself. To understand the impact, let's start with how the system works today. When someone becomes a naturalized U.S. citizen, they take an oath, renouncing allegiance to other nations. In practice, though, the government doesn't force them to give up their other citizenship. Many countries, including Canada, the UK, and India, allow people to keep both. That's why dual citizenship has flourished. It has been a space where global families could exist, work, and build lives across borders. But the new policy coming in October 2025 is changing that balance. Under Trump's executive direction, USCIS, the State Department, and the Department of Homeland Security are implementing new layers of scrutiny on dual nationals. The government will now classify dual citizenship as a high-risk category for national security reviews, especially for citizens linked to countries considered adversarial or under diplomatic strain with the United States. The first major change is in the area of tax compliance. Until now, many dual citizens faced confusion about filing taxes in two countries. The U.S. taxes its citizens on worldwide income, even if they live abroad. But enforcement was inconsistent. That is about to change. Starting October 2025, the IRS and the Department of the Treasury are launching joint enforcement with USCIS to ensure all dual citizens fully report their global income and assets. Failure to comply will no longer just result in fines. It could trigger citizenship reviews or the suspension of passport renewals. For many Americans living abroad, this will come as a shock. They will be required to provide more financial disclosure forms, document foreign bank accounts in detail, and show proof of tax compliance, not just at renewal, but before renewing U.S. passports or applying for consular services. The next change affects a recent passport issuance and renewal. The State Department will now require dual citizens to submit additional documentation to confirm residency, tax status, and allegiance to the United States. If an individual holds a second passport from a country listed as high risk, such as China, Russia, Iran, or nations under sanctions, their applications may undergo extended review. In some cases, their renewals could be denied until the government confirms that they have not acted against U.S. interests. This aligns with another key change, the updated Oath of Allegiance for naturalized citizens. From October 2025 onward, the oath will contain stronger language requiring exclusive loyalty to the United States. While it won't force applicants to renounce other nationalities formally, it emphasizes that U.S. citizenship is conditional on good faith allegiance. Officials say this is meant to ensure commitment, but immigrant advocates worry it opens the door for selective enforcement, that people with dual citizenship could one day be accused of divided loyalty for simply maintaining ties abroad. Those born with dual citizenship, children who acquire it automatically at birth through their parents or birthplace, will also be affected. The new policy introduces heightened background checks for these individuals when applying for federal jobs, security clearances, or positions requiring access to classified information. Dual nationality itself won't disqualify them, but it will trigger a deeper investigation to determine whether their foreign connections pose a risk. For young Americans raised across borders, this could limit career options in government and defense. Even the U.S. military is being reshaped by this policy. The Department of Defense is reviewing its enlistment guidelines to potentially restrict service for dual citizens from certain countries. The stated reason is to prevent conflicts of loyalty during deployment or access to sensitive missions. But this has angered veterans groups who say dual citizens have long served with distinction, and such restrictions only divide patriotic Americans. Another area drawing attention is just political participation. While dual citizens can still vote in U.S. elections, some state lawmakers, encouraged by federal rhetoric, are drafting bills to limit the ability of dual nationals to hold public office or participate in campaign fundraising. These proposals have not yet become law, but their growing momentum shows how the debate around loyalty is shaping politics at every level. The Trump administration argues that all of these changes are about protecting American interests. Officials say that dual citizens must be fully accountable to the U.S., both financially and politically. They argue that global mobility and foreign citizenship create loopholes that adversaries could exploit. But for millions of ordinary people, Americans with spouses abroad, professionals working overseas, or immigrants who still cherish their roots, this new tone feels like a warning. Your loyalty is under review. Tax experts and immigration attorneys are already urging dual citizens to act now. They recommend updating tax filings, ensuring all foreign assets are disclosed, and keeping U.S. residency documents up to date. Mistakes that once went unnoticed may now trigger audits or investigations. Immigration lawyers say naturalized citizens should prepare to prove continuous residence and community ties, especially if they travel frequently or live abroad for long periods. The emotional toll is also growing. For decades, dual citizenship was seen as a symbol of belonging to two worlds. For many immigrants, it represented gratitude to America without erasing their heritage. But under these new rules, that dual identity is being treated as suspicion rather than strength. People who spent years becoming American now fear losing what they worked for, not because of crime or disloyalty, but because of paperwork or perception. Advocacy groups are pushing back, calling the October 2025 update unconstitutional. They argue that allegiance cannot be measured by tax forms or second passports. They warn that this could lead to selective targeting of immigrants based on their country of origin, and that loyalty reviews could easily turn into discrimination. Lawsuits are already being prepared, but the enforcement clock is ticking. The message from the Trump administration is clear. The era of quiet tolerance for dual citizenship is over. Every person who holds a second nationality must now prove through their actions and documentation that their first allegiance lies with the United States. If you are a dual citizen or planning to become one, this is the time to prepare. Ensure your records are complete. File taxes properly. Renew your passports early. Keep your travel history transparent. And most importantly, understand your rights. Because once these rules take effect, failing to comply could have serious consequences, not just financial, but personal and legal. America is redefining what it means to be a citizen in a globalized world. These October 2025 changes show that the government is tightening control, not just at the border, but within citizenship itself. The promise of belonging now comes with a higher price, one measured in loyalty, compliance, and constant proof. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application, requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas, such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News Channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.